I think there's such a beautiful opportunity it comes from us, obviously. I mean, we all know this, right? Like, what are we modeling? um, and and so I think one of the things that I would say is it's so amazing to say to your kids, and I was thinking about this, I'm so grateful to be your mom.
Mm.
I'm so grateful you're my child.
Mm.
I'm so grateful we're family.
You're gonna make me
And
cry. Oh my
me
God.
too, right? I'm so grateful we're growing together. I'm so grateful that we have the love in our lives that we have. I never take that for granted. If you say that to your kids and you start to model that is the most beautiful, vulnerable, powerful way to go through
Mm.
life, and you
Mm.
take those risks,
Mm-hmm.
it's not about the things they do and we're rewarding, just by thanking them for setting the table or making their bed or doing the obedient kinds of things. It's the bigger things, the unconditional things, which is like, I'm wanted and loved for who I am, for my existence on this earth. I'm grateful you exist. I'm so glad you're in my life. And I think those things go so far, right? And then from there we can teach our children, what is it like to not take any of what we have for granted? What would it be like? What do we take for granted? Ask your kids, what do we take for granted that would be amazing to notice that not everybody else has?
Mm.
Instead of clean your plate because other people are starving, and so then like I was raised, there's always some country and it's, but it's guilt inducing or whatever, rather than how can we celebrate the fact of what we have, how blessed and privileged we are, what wants to be uplifted, what would it be like not to have electricity?
Mm.
Let's think about that for a minute. What would it like if we didn't have hot water? And so then, like, when you take a shower, can you really appreciate the hot water on your body in a way that's different, like that you didn't know that you were always going to have it?
Mm.
Like maybe it's going to run out or something. Like, how do we teach those perspectives? It's all about perspective, which is what is plentiful in your life? What do you have enough to give away? What, one of the practices in the book is around appreciation is generative, is if you have more than you can appreciate, right? So what we have wants to be appreciated actively. That's what is life beautifying and enriching. If we have more than we can actively appreciate, and I use the example of, like, you've got these deep shelves and you never look at the stuff in the back of the shelf and it's just sitting there collecting dust and it's memorabilia or things that you feel kind of sentimental about or something. But wouldn't it be amazing to let those things go to somebody where it's the front of their shelf,
Mm.
where somebody else actually has the bandwidth to really actively appreciate things that we don't have the bandwidth to appreciate?
Mm-hmm.
That's a beautiful thing, because
Mm-hmm.
everything wants to be appreciated. So I just really think there's a lot of ways to take kids on a journey that is about deep appreciation and learning not to take for granted. One of the practices is everything comes from the earth. When you sit to eat, look at how the salt, the pepper,
Mm-hmm.
everything you eat, every fruit, every vegetable, every protein, everything is connected to the earth. What does that teach us? Like,
Mm-hmm.
not to take the earth for granted,
Yeah.
our clothing, our everything. And so we can deepen our sense of the values and principles that our children are growing up with by modeling appreciation for what we value, and that what we value thrives when we tend it, when we pay attention to it. Tending is just paying attention, as you know.
Attending, yes.
Attending.
Catch new episodes of the Mindful Mama podcast and other free resources, including the Mindful Mom Guide at mindfulmamamentor.com. You can listen to every back catalog episode, including interviews with Dr. Dan Siegel, Janla Van Zant, Sharon Salzberg, and get meditations, join our private Facebook group, and more. Go to mindfulmamamentor.com now. I'll see you there.